Doris.
All right. Well, it's about 4 minutes after. You want to go ahead and start, Deb?
Yes, ma'am. So I'll go ahead and turn off my webcam so you guys can just enjoy Miss Dawn here. Okay, doke. All right. Enjoy your webinar. I will be in the background answering all your chats.
Thanks, Deb. Good morning, everybody. We're only going to chat virtually for just a few moments, and then I'm going to screen share so that you can see my phone. I want everybody to make sure that they have their Homesnap app downloaded along with ShowingTime. ShowingTime is not going to be terribly useful for us today because we're not really able to schedule showings, but I might sneak in a few things so you'll get an idea of how it works. Functionality is still there. And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box. And as Debbie said, she'll be helping with that. And please be patient with me. This is my very first webinar, and we'll see how it goes. So welcome, and I'm going to switch you over to my phone. Okay. So a couple of things. This is Homesnap. If you're not sure where to find it, maybe you download it and don't know where to find it, this is the icon you want to click on to open. I want you to do a couple of things for me to start us off. Some of you have probably already been in here playing around a little bit. So I want you to click on Filter, where my red circle is. And I want you to click Reset, and then down at the bottom, there's Reset here. Down at the bottom, click the blue Apply. I just want to clear any filters that you have and get those out of the way. Okay. We have, this should be the screen that you see. This is your compass. So this will locate you to where you are. If you click on that little compass, it should locate you to where you're standing. If it does not, you may need to check the settings on your phone. Make sure that your location services are on for this app. I'm on an iPhone, so my screen may look a little different if you're using an Android. That's okay. It's pretty similar, but certainly reach out to Debbie if you get lost and you can't find something. Okay, so this box up here is your search. That's where you can type in addresses, look at your MLS Saved Searches. In here, if you have a listing and you want to look at a listing, you can type in the address, or the school, the zip code, or the MLS number. Even the city, but that's a little more broad. It does remember all of your searches. And I think there's at least 100 searches that it remembers. It goes back a long, long way. So if you looked up something while you're out with a client, they said, oh, what about this house across the street? Because that happens. You'll have it in your search so that you can go back to it later. You don't have to worry about writing down the address or remembering it. All right, I'm going to pick on one. We'll do 202 North Washington in Royal Oak. If you tap on, and you can certainly choose the same property if you want to follow along with me, it's 202 North Washington. And I think Debbie's typing with a hammer.
I should probably turn off my microphone.
Okay, so once you've got a property or this property, I want you to click on the thumbnail, and you're going to open up the full listing detail. Across the top, you'll see multiple photos, tells you there's 37 photos of this property. You will see a few things throughout the presentation that you may not have on my screen. For instance, flashback. This is a plus function. Homesnap just reduced the price from $5.99 to $99 for a year for some of these upgraded features. So don't worry if you see a couple of things that you don't have. They may be part of that extended package. But you have commute. So commute we'll talk about. You have street view. You have map and virtual tour. Okay. To get to the property details, you'll notice the photos are just flipping. If you were to go back to just the photos at the top, the icon that is here, or tap anywhere in the middle, it will bring up the multiple photos. And from there, you can scroll through the photos and tap on any one to bring it up full size. And then you can swipe right or left to go forward and back through the list of photos. You can also turn your phone sideways to get larger photos. Okay? And then you're going to click close up here in the corner, and then the X to get back to where we were. Now I want you to start scrolling down. You'll see the address, the price, some details about the property, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. There is a yellow line in a section that says Pro. Any sections that say Pro are only visible from the agents that are subscribing, and your subscription is free through MiRealSource with your membership. But your consumer, who you will have the ability to invite to the app, will not see anything labeled with Pro. All right. Property history, the listing agent, the listing date, property history, even back from previous listings. You can select the blue button to have Homesnap notify you if there are any price changes. And then again, another couple of Pro sections. This is the agent information. Notice there's an arrow here. So if you tap on the agent's name or that arrow, it will bring up the agent's information. I actually had an agent this morning call me because they found me in Homesnap. You can favorite this agent, send them a message, and then there's also more that you can do. Yes.
Jean wanted you to just repeat the last few steps. She kind of got a little lost. I think she blinked at the wrong time.
Okay.
So if you want to go back 2 steps to the front of the main listing,
yep,
and see where you get there. And Jean just let me know if that's exactly where you need her to be.
Is that the right spot?
Yep, she is good.
Great.
All right, Jean.
Okay, now tap on that thumbnail. So just tap right in the middle, anywhere in the middle of this photo, and that opens the details. Okay, and holler if that's, if you didn't get there or you have questions, but I'm going to keep scrolling down, and you can scroll to all of the different sections. And then when you get to the agent information, here's where we're going to click, which will open the agent's info. You can see favorite, message, the phone number. If you click on this little icon, the bubble, that will take you to an instant text message. You can send an in-app or a text. One tip though, if you are going to choose a text, understand that you know who they are, but you're sending a text blind to that agent. They don't know who you are. So you want to make sure in the message, if you're sending a plain text, that you identify yourself, because I've had a lot of agents that think because they're sending it from Homesnap, Homesnap will tell that agent that it's you, and it only works that way in the in-app message. Move over to the phone app. If you click on the telephone, you get the option to call, text, or simply copy to the clipboard. Okay. Email address, another icon, click to send an email or copy to the clipboard. If you happen to be on an iPhone, you'll see this add to address book. You can tap that and it will automatically offer to save that contact in your phone. So if you're showing that property and you're going to go back to your office and write an offer, that's going to be helpful. You'll need that agent's information ongoing. Okay, now you can also see their deal flow. So if you're going to send an offer, I think it's fair to assume this agent probably has been in the business a little while and knows what they're doing. But if you can't remember a property, you can also look up by agent and find their listings Maybe your client calls you and saw the name on the sign and can't remember the address. We'll cover that too. Okay, and we're going to click out of here, go back to the main listing, and scroll down some more. Another piece of the Pro and Pro Plus combination is the related people. Your screen may look a bit differently, but we're going to tap on related people. It gives you the owner's name. Pretty accurate in most cases, but not always. It tells you their age, approximate income, marital status. On mine, you'll see Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. This is part of that Pro Plus. See up here in the corner. That information, you should see contact info, this section, but you don't see this section unless you have paid for that upgrade. It is kind of cool and somewhat creepy. If I tap on Facebook, it actually takes me to that particular homeowner's Facebook. Ooh, get out of Facebook. There you go. Contact information tells you it's owner occupied and the year it was purchased. You can add them to the address book if you're on an iPhone. Now, this is nice for unlisted properties. Let's not forget we aren't contacting any clients that have agents. Okay. The next section down is the listing summary. This is all public information. There's no yellow bar or pro in this section. And it does give you who can see this listing right here. Okay. On an iPhone, Android looks a bit different, but this bar pops up the further you scroll down, and this gives you the ability to share this listing. So I can send a message to the agent, I can favorite it, or I can share. So if I share, I open it up and I can send by text message. And just because I know I can get away with it, I will send it to Melissa, my daughter. She will wonder what I'm doing, but that's okay. And then I've sent that listing right to my client. Homesnap uses the original MLS numbers. Super important. Clients, we've trained them really well. They'll call and give us MLS numbers. And if we are in a data shared partner and not necessarily in RealComp or in Flint or any of the other shared data partners, we won't know what that MLS number is or what it represents. But in Homesnap, you can put in the original MLS number and it will search the property and bring it up for you. Here's another section, confidential data. Again, this is all agent specific data, days on market, listing status, changes, all that stuff. You can kind of, flip through there. Compensation, really important. One of the things that is a challenge, sometimes if you're looking at a mobile app, or if you had previously been using something like Zillow or Realtor.com, you can see it and then go into your ShowingTime app and schedule a showing on the property, but you can't see this. So you don't know if you're going to get paid. This is really important to know you're going to get paid. When we're all back to work normally after the coronavirus is gone, you will also see links on these listings to schedule showings through ShowingTime. You can do it right through Homesnap. Those links are gone right now just simply because of the situation, but it's very handy to be able to see that you're going to get paid and click right to show the property all from one screen. Contract settlement, listing media, here you go. Here's another section for the Pro Plus, which is $99 a year right now. This will give you the flashback photos. So if this property were listed before, then you will see the previous listing agent's information and selling agent, as well as the old photos. That's not available to everybody. It's only in that subscription. Then you have listing details. Click show more in blue. I'm going to do that again so that I can put my cursor over where it went. Okay, this is show more right here under listing details. You'll see it in blue, and it opens it way up to show a bunch more information. Again, public remarks. This is all property information that clients will see as well. No garage, interesting. Tour, so they can see the virtual tour. And then we get to schools. Local schools are really, this is a really important search. It's one thing that not many of the other products have. You can click on, let's choose Royal Oak High School. You can click on Royal Oak High School and it will give you all of the demographic information and school rating information for that school as well as the surrounding area or the surrounding schools. See the blue where it outlines the school attendance zone? This is not the school district. This is the attendance zone for the high school I selected, which is Royal Oak High School. From there, I can actually click on Homes for Sale, this blue button, and it brings up all of the homes for sale in that high school attendance zone. Clients can search this way as well. It's pretty handy, especially in some areas where you want a specific high school. Grosse Pointe, for instance, people want specifically Grosse Pointe South or Grosse Pointe North, and they can actually search that way now. To exit this screen, just click Done in the top, and it takes you back to the school information. Click Done again, and we're back to scrolling through our details. The next section is commute time. Commute time is, if a client says, I don't want to be any more than 25 minutes from work. So if I click on and add an address from here, I'll do my office address. Okay. And then I want to click Done in the corner. So it now tells me that from this Royal Oak address in Washington, it's 38 minutes to my office on Shaner. You can add multiple addresses. So if you needed to add a spouse's work address, you could certainly do that too. Let's add one more. We'll do 56288 Van Dyke. That's my new office address. Only 2 minutes more. But if you had a his and hers, they will be able to see this and you will be able to see it as you look through properties for them, for that particular buyer or yourself. The next section down is property lines. Let's see. Let's just tap right here in the middle and we'll open that screen up for property lines. And you're going to pinch out, so you're going to expand that. And as you expand it, you can see more information. The white lines are the actual property map or the property lines. It's hard to see on my screen. Hopefully you can see it on your phone. That gives you your parcel lines is what it's showing you. You can also click on satellite, which is here, to see the satellite view. There's the little guy at the bottom. Let's try a street view and see if I can do a street view. And there you go. Here's your Google Street View of this house, which you can arrow over with the little arrows at the bottom here and arrow back so you can get a feel for the homes right around this one. Pretty current view. The sign is out front. Either that or it's a really old view. And then just click X at the top right-hand corner will take you out of there. Down from there, this just gives you similar listings. So it'll do it for you as well as the client, so they can see maybe other homes that would interest them if they didn't like that one. All right. Then you can scroll all the way back up to the top to get back to the photos and all of the details, and then just click back. If you missed it, back is right here. And you're back to your main screen. Notice these orange boxes. This is very new. Some of these properties are listed at like this one, but there's an orange box around this one too that doesn't have a green dot, if you will, a locator pin that tells you it's for sale. But this one it is the most likely to list. So these properties are marked most likely to list. You can also search on things like that, which I'll show you as well. So this tells you, once you click on it, that they are most likely to list. That is an algorithm behind the scenes that's built of a few things. When it was purchased, their mortgage balance, any, if they have extra equity, those kind of things. So that's, I can't tell you exactly what that algorithm consists of, but it's been pretty good stuff. Now I want to scroll down. Okay, so it says that this is a high score for likely to list. And why? Because it's an absentee in-state owner, probably an investment property. No recent listings, and in good standing on their mortgage. You may or may, it looks like you should see all of that. Sorry. What an ugly little house. Sorry, did I say that? Now from there, I'm going to scroll down a little past that. Shows you the previous sale information from 2015, rented, sold, rented, all the way back to 2010. It does give you the current owner. So let's say you had a buyer that really, they were likely to list and you wanted to reach out to them. Now this information, there's nothing here, there's no arrow. So it doesn't have any information other than his name. Gives you some other property details, very limited because it's not listed, but that's okay. You can certainly look them up in RealList and reach out if you had a buyer that was interested in this property. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up in the upper left-hand corner. And we're back to that screen. Here are your search filters here. So you can certainly search for just for sale, just for rent. But if you search all homes, and you're going to filter it right here, this is where you get to select what version of most likely to list. If you want to search based on only the most likely and likely, choose those and then click see results. And this is giving me for Royal Oak. And you can pinch in and it'll give you, you can see more of the map, but you can see what's likely to list and where there might be some opportunities. Oh, there's a nice spot where people maybe have lived a long time. Lots of most likelies in this area. If you only want certain MLS, you only want statuses where they're not on the MLS and not recently sold, you can take those off, toggle those in the filters, click the blue box for see results again. And there's still a lot of options there. So it helps you it gives you an option for more marketing and some targeted marketing. Let's see, you can sort. Here's a heat map, and it gives you the specifics on some of these. Sort again, new to old, high to low as far as price. Sort by number of bedrooms and year built. So there's a lot of things that you can sort that search by once you find your most likelies. Okay. And then I want to take you to the next section. We're going to go down to the bottom. And the next section over, we're going to talk about the Pro Agent section. So if you click there, this is extremely handy. You'll end up using this a lot. You can advertise a listing from here. This is paid advertising, but it's got some really great things. You can advertise on things like Waze, Google, Facebook. It's really good stuff. You can farm my zip codes, get more leads from your zip code. Again, more ads, but they're pre-designed for you. It's very easy to work with, even if you're not a marketing genius. Okay, and then you have your dashboard. You can see that's where you would look at performance of any ads that you've done, request reviews. These are plus functions. You see the plus next to here? That's part of that upgraded package. But you can manage clients and contacts from here, which I will show you how to invite clients and manage them when we get through with this screen. But you can find an agent. So if you just need to call somebody and you're not sure how to find them, click on Find an Agent, search for an agent, type in their name. See if I can find myself. There I am. You search by last name, and if it's a common name, do last name and first name. Like if it's Jim Smith, search for Jim Smith because you'll need both first and last. But this gives you all of my contact information. Tells you my cell phone number, my email address, the company I'm with, and all of that same information that we looked at earlier. Okay, and then cancel. Back here. If you favorite agents, so maybe you have agents on your team and you want to watch what your team is doing, you can favorite them. Recently viewed, if I viewed agents, you can go in and see who's been recently viewed. My office agents. If you're in a large office that you don't necessarily know the phone numbers and email addresses of everyone in your office, but you need somebody to hold an open house for you, tap there and you'll be able to see everybody that's in your office. That can be incredibly helpful. And then back. The next section down, close that, is Homesnap Pro University. Homesnap Pro University is great for watching some webinars, getting some printables. If you click in here, it tells you everything that's offered. So you have tutorials, webinars, printables, podcasts. The podcasts are not specific, or even FAQs. Podcasts are not specific to Homesnap. They can be, but they're just industry podcasts. Just another source if you're looking for additional education. And done with that section. Help and feedback. Obviously, if you need help with the app, call our tech support. And the phone number for tech support is 248-247-1040. However, if you're you just want to add feedback or help with the app itself, you want to see some additional features, you want it to do something differently, you could submit that directly here to Homesnap. All right, Debbie, do we have any questions so far?
Well, I've been answering a few, but one of the ones we've been talking about, is this a pro only? Is this part of premium? So we have a couple of different versions. The pro version is the fact that you are a real estate agent and a member of MiRealSource. The premium, actually the premium is the fact that you're a member of MiRealSource. We give you extra stuff like, I don't remember if you've shown the associated documents yet. And then the plus is the paid version. So that's where Dawn was able to find a little bit more contact information. And a couple of the other ones were just a step behind, and I got them up into place, but I think those were it. I did want to mention that we have 5 handouts associated with this webinar. So they're right in the handouts in your GoToWebinar control panel. And then we also have the new playbook uploaded into the MLS Documents in Paragon. That's under my education folder. So I was just writing a chat to everyone about that the new Homesnap playbook is uploaded in the MLS Docs. But other than that, we are doing great. Thanks, Dawn.
Okay. Then we're going to go to the next section, Me. This section is obviously all of your information. From here, you can do several things. We're going to cover the shortcuts and come back to the invite client and your clients where you manage them. So shortcuts are your public profile. If you want to see what your profile on Homesnap looks like to the consumer, you click here. Your agent only profile. What do agents see about you if they're looking? And the next piece is a who's viewed my profile. If you click on there, and Franny is the agent that called me this morning. That's how she found me, as she went right in here. You may not see this. This is, again, that Pro Plus version, which is the higher package, the highest package, but that's what you would see in that section. Recently viewed, properties, agents, all of that. My listings, you can see and edit your listings. My RealSource exclusive, that you can edit your listings. So if I tap on a listing, you can see here just tap anywhere in the photo of that listing. It gives you the option to edit. Now, this is closed, so it may not give me much, but let's see. Sorry guys, it's home internet. You know how that goes. Well, let's try another one. Let's see. Let's try it again, maybe. No, and it might be because it's sold. Let me see if I can find one that is here. Let's try this one, off market. Edit listing. No. Normally what you would see when my internet catches up is a couple of options to edit the listing. You can change the price, you can mark it pending, you can mark it back on the market if it's already pending. You can extend the expiration date, and you can change remarks and directions. The one thing you can't do is you can't report it closed, because that is more of an office function, and many brokers don't want agents reporting closed until they've turned in the documents. So that's the only function you can't do from the app. Tells you who's viewed my listing. Let's see. Nothing in the last 90 days because this is an old expired property, but you can see who's viewed it or who's viewed me, and it looks like what I can see here. And let's get out of there. You can do a rapid CMA on this house. This is an old listing. Maybe they want to list again. You can do a rapid CMA. You can send a message to the agent, share this listing. So if it is your listing, click on share, and it'll bring up, depending on iPhone or Android, where you can text it, message, Facebook, you can share. Net sheet calculator. Boy, is that handy. You can do it, so you could do a net sheet on the fly for a client. Obviously, you can add in commissions. Some things are in here already. Property taxes, settlement. You might want to check those numbers and make sure they're good. But once you put those in, they should stay for the next time that you use it. Cancel. View PDF. That's basically a PDF of the listing, which also has a share button at the bottom. If you just wanted to send the feature sheet, you can do that from here as well. And when you share, you can do it by email, by text, Facebook, all of that. That's where the next section down is your listing lead pages. These are where you would manage ads, paid ads. And then done at the bottom. I'm gonna scroll back up. Oh, those are all my listings. Back. My favorites. This is kind of important. I can just click on this little star to unfavorite a property. And this I probably had favorited from a class. And then the next one down, same thing. I'm going to click to unfavorite. But what you definitely want to do is favorite all of your own listings, because that builds this little guy down here, your news feed. So whenever you list something new, go in and favorite it. Your clients will see what you favorite. I'm going to go back. Saved searches. I don't have any right now, but you can save searches. And that's where you would access those saved searches. My office, we've talked about. MLS identities, if you're a member of 2 or more MLSs, you may have 2 or more memberships. Okay, now for the good stuff. This is where you're going to invite people to the app, your version of the app. Many of you may have been around and familiar with Listing Book, where you would send them Listing Book and it would be branded to you. This works the same way. Please, whatever you do, do not click invite all. Please, please, please don't do it. You won't like the results. However, in this invite, you've got options. You can enter an email address or phone number. So you can text to them the invite or email it to them. You can also share your profile link by clicking on the little arrow. You can post it. So click post, and it'll bring up where you're going to share it on Facebook. It's only Facebook for right now. Otherwise, you have to copy it and post it manually. Cancel. I don't need that posted right now. Invite MLS contacts. Many of you have saved searches in Paragon. So here we have Paragon Saved Searches. These are all of my saved searches that are currently in Paragon. So I could pick any one of these people who have a saved search. Let's see, who has one that's a good one right now? Goodness gracious. Well, let's try, theirs is pretty specific, but I can invite them to the app. I can also, and that will send them an invite when we get all the way to the bottom. You see invite 1, that's the person I've selected so far. I can also go through and select a few different contacts in my address book. Here is the reason I said do not select all. Many of you know Flo Abke, she is an agent. So is Steve and Zach. You don't want to send this invite out to everybody in your phone database because it's really easy to invite all manual or quickly, but it is not easy. It is a completely manual process to remove them all. And it will take you way more time than you want to spend. So we're going to do that one more time. We're going to go to invite, either type in an address or a phone number, share your profile link on social media, invite from your Paragon searches, or select from your address book on your phone. If you don't see your address book come up, you may have to allow that from your phone settings. All right, we're going to click done at the top. Once you have clients and contacts that you have invited to Homesnap, you will be able to manage them from here. This is the list of the clients that you have. You can send them messages. You can view their favorites. Send a message here, view favorites, people, agents. Right now I have agents favorited. Recently viewed. These are all the people I've recently viewed. These are any recent invites that haven't been accepted. And then requested. If somebody requested to follow me from a different avenue than my invite button. And click back. Back to clients. I can tap on one of those clients. I can see this is an old client, but there was a conversation history. So you may have been messaging. This also works just like your text messages, but it's maintained inside of Homesnap, so you'll never lose it. Obviously, I sent this in 2017. He's already bought a house, but those messages are still there unless you go in and manually delete them. More, I can view favorites. If this client has any favorites saved, you can see them, so you know what they're looking at. You can share his profile on social media. It may be that he wants to do that. Yep.
Jean has a question.
Sure.
Can we delete a contact? And if memory serves me correct, it's a swipe from this screen.
Hold on, I haven't done it in a while. Let me try it, Deb. It is not on the screen.
Go ahead and delete my contact in there.
Okay, hold on. There you are.
But you can always add me back again. Oh, look, there's me in the hubby.
Yep. Okay, so I don't think you can delete from this screen anymore. No, I don't think so.
From the list of contacts?
Nope, you can't, you don't swipe. No, it doesn't look like you, there is a way, Deb, but it's not in this screen. I think you have to go into the agent screen to do it. We'll go back to that when I get to that section.
Sounds good. I'll look it up too.
I do want to try it one more time though. I want to try something. I'm trying to just press and hold and see if that does it.
Colleen mentioned it was recently changed. Don't you love it when they move the cheese? Thanks, Colleen.
If you click on My Client, a weird place to find a delete, but you can click then remove. So you have to be in this screen, click My Client here, and it brings up this remove screen. Like I said, weird place to have it, but it's there.
Cool. Thank you.
More. That's the next tab over from your invite clients. Here's where you can change your profile image, change your wallpaper. When you first logged into Homesnap, it probably prompted you to take a photo, take a selfie basically. All of these wallpapers are what you see that appear behind your picture, behind my face on my main screen. This is the wallpaper that I have chosen. There's all kinds of different selections in there. So this is more like a utilities profile page. You've got your mortgage calculator, a net sheet, your social where you can view clients and share your profile. Ooh. Let's try that again. There we go. You also have a gear up in the top corner here that will take you to some more settings. Update my info. Certain info you can update, not everything, because some of it's controlled by the MLS. You couldn't, for example, you couldn't change your name. Update my zip codes. In zip codes, you can have 3 for areas you might want to see listings in your news feed. There's only 3. So if there's a city like Shelby that has multiple zip codes, you might want to pick 2 that are on either end of that city. And that way you can kind of zoom in on the map and get whatever's surrounding it. And then go back. Update payment methods. That's only if you're going to do paid advertising. If you are, you save that. So it just makes purchasing and running ads much faster and easier. Notifications. This is how you want to be notified of the various things within Homesnap. Ad performance, Facebook comments, pro updates, all of that. News feed. I don't want my news feed emailed to me. I'll get that on the app. So there's all kinds of preferences, things that you can change within here. That's going to be really, there's not any right or wrong way to do that. It's going to be up to the individual. Sound, that's just like any other app. You want it to ding when a notification comes in. Privacy settings, agent in private mode. I'm not sure what that is. This is the first time I've seen that. Help about Homesnap, tweet at Homesnap, give us a high 5. This is for Homesnap if you love the app, which I definitely do. And then log out. If you, for some reason, you never have to log out and log back in when you're using Homesnap. The only time you might have to do that is if you get a new phone or if you're having trouble and it's not acting right. Sometimes logging out and back in will take care of any bugs. All right, back again. The news feed. Oh, let's cover the messages first. So messages, this is where you see all of those messages between you and your clients or even you and other agents. So here we go, Debbie from 2017. So you can see all that history. So if you just want all of your messages and not necessarily one particular client, they're all here for you. And you can even, here's another shortcut. If you're in here and you want to add a client, you can click on that button and get to that ad screen. And now the news feed. The news feed it's populated similar to other social media. You'll see things that it'll tell you why it's in my news feed, in my preferred zip code. I typically keep those zip codes populated with things that I know I have a buyer looking in that area, so that I'm going to see things sooner. If I see something and I go, ooh, that's a great one for, Jennifer, then I can favorite it right from there by clicking on the star. Or I can open it up and send it to her. You're going to get some industry news, some Homesnap news, another preferred zip code. Let's see. These are all preferred zip codes. Sometimes you'll see things. Let's see if I can find one. It'll say similar to your listing. So instead of in preferred zip code, it'll say similar to your listing. So if something gets listed near or similar to a listing that you have, you'll see that pop up so that you can kind of watch the competition for your listings. Okay. And then we have this little icon, probably what Homesnap was originally. I'm going to clear my filter. What they were originally known for, Homesnap. You can click on the phone or on the little camera icon, and I think it'll work. I'm going to point this at my neighbor's house, and I'm going to tap on take the photo. And it looks like it did bring it up. Well, close. It got in between the houses. So I'm going to tap on the next door neighbor's house. The camera is not doing it by the photograph. It's doing it by the geocoding. So if you happen to be, you see a house that, oh, it's got a sign in front of it, or it looks like somebody's moving, and you want to know, wow, is this house going to go on the market? You can stand out front or from your car even, snap a photo to get the information about the property. Keep in mind that if you save a snap, which is what those are called when you go up here and click on the camera, if you save a snap, it's going to be populated in your news feed and your clients will see it. So you may not want to save them if you're doing silly things like taking pictures of blinds in your house like I just did, because I don't need my clients to see that. But it does give you that option. So let's see if I can point it in a different direction. See if I'll get something behind me. No, not really. But it brings up the area. I can select the house that I'm looking at, and I can still get the information on the property. Okay. Any questions? And you will have to enable, you'll have to allow Homesnap to use your camera. So that's a setting in your phone. If it pops up and says you have to allow, you just have to change that in your settings. All right.
No questions at this time. We've had a couple little ones at the news feed. Where can that be found? That's that little icon on the very bottom left where Dawn is pointing to. And the Homesnap playbook, that is there's a lot of information in it. It is a big report, but it's loaded up in the MLS documents under MiRealSource Education. So you'll find a lot of the new stuff that Dawn's talking about today is in there as well.
Great. I haven't even seen the new playbook, so that's good. Okay. Deb, anything else in Homesnap that you want me to cover, or did I cover it?
I think you've got it all. Colleen, did you have any thoughts in there? Actually, you know, do you want Colleen to, let me unmute Colleen.
I was going to say, if you want her to answer you, you have to unmute her.
Unmute. Okie dokie. Miss Colleen, you have a microphone if you'd like. Oh, and Keita Brownlee is saying, wow, that was awesome. I think all of the trainers and staff and so many of our membership absolutely love this app. I enjoy anytime, well, when we go on vacation, if we ever get to do that again. The last time my husband wanted to, he wanted to live in downtown Nashville. So I opened up my Homesnap app and I got quite a good little chuckle. I said, 900 square feet for 300,000. I think we're going to say no.
That's funny that you say that, Deb. When we were in New York, let's see, I think I still remember the zip code, 11036. Let's see.
And while you're finding that, so Jean was asking, where do we get the plus version?
Plus is already, premium is already provided. The plus version, you should have received an email recently from Homesnap where you can click through and purchase it there. Let me see if you can, I can't see it on my screen. My guess, because I've already upgraded and I don't see that option, my guess is I would go to the Me at the bottom. In there, you should be able to purchase it there, or possibly under the Pro Agent section. I'm just not sure because I can't see that screen. Probably because I've already upgraded. Also, look, you might be able to see it in one of these that are flashing by. And you can certainly swipe through those but there might be one in this section as they flip through that might have that. I just think it's absent for me.
I'll take a peek.
Okay, there you go. All right, so I am going to take a quick trip over to ShowingTime. I'm going to open the ShowingTime app. This app is magic. I'm going to open the hamburger stack. Let me do that again so you can see it. Right here in this upper left corner. That's going to open your list of options. From here, you can schedule a showing. You can access a showing cart. If you have already put listings into a cart to schedule them en masse for showings, you can see the cart and do the turn-by-turn directions from here. Unfortunately, on a phone, you cannot build a cart. That has to be done on a tablet or larger screen. So you can build a cart on an iPad or a laptop or your desktop, but you can't build it from your phone. I, of course, am hoping that will certainly change, but it hasn't yet. But you can see any showings that have been scheduled on your listings and showings I have requested. These bars are very faint, but the next section would be listings, where you can edit and view listing instructions. Michigan is a big boating state. So if you get a call from a client that needs to change their showing instructions and it's Saturday and you're on your boat for the rest of the day and they've got a child that's sick and they don't want showings for the rest of the day, you can go in from your app and edit those instructions and make those changes right from the palm of your hand. Your contacts. So if you put your buyers in when you are showing homes so that you can log all their showings, you can access those buyers. And when you access those buyers, let's see, I'm going to click on Ethan and see past activities. And I can see all of the properties that I showed to Ethan and his wife, and my history of inspections and all that good stuff. You see all that? And one house we showed a lot because he bought it. But you can see your history. And that's generated by when you're making the request. Let's see if I can get one in here. I don't know if I can put one in, but we'll try it. Let's see what might be on the market. Let's just try Main Street and see if it brings anything up. Okay, Midland, active. I'm going to tap on that. It's asking me which buyer I would like to schedule this showing for. If I don't have that buyer in here already, I can go down to New Buyer and establish a new buyer. You can do this with confidence. No one sees this but you. The listing agent doesn't see it, only you. It's really just a virtual filing cabinet for you to be able to keep track of the properties you showed the client. It's really nice when, they call you and say, hey, remember that little yellow house we looked at last Sunday? No, sure I do. You can click on past activities, search back to that particular Sunday, and even click on that property. Obviously, this is from May of last year. This is already under contract, but you can see those properties in that history. Let's see, and then we go to sellers. This gives you all of the information for your sellers. So anybody, yeah.
I did have one question regarding carts. So
Sure.
When you're scheduling a cart, does that put it into order for you based on locations?
There's a smart map button, so you can dump all of the listings in any random order, and at the bottom there's a smart route button that you can click, and when you click on smart route, it will put them in geographic order for you, and then you can tweak from there, and you can drag and drop them if you need to move a couple.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay, feedback on my listings or listings I've shown. You can view the feedback. Listings I've shown, you're going to get a request for feedback through the app as well as your email that you receive. This is the easiest way on the planet to provide feedback, and it's important. It's really easy. I don't have any, but if you had incomplete, you'll see it. They don't go away from here. They just kind of linger there and make you feel bad because you didn't do it. So, but it makes it really easy. If you're out showing all day, you might have shown 10 houses. It's really nice to be able to do it with your feet up on the couch and not have to worry about it. Continue scrolling down, you'll see listing activity reports and market stats. Listing activity reports are great. There's a lot of things that you might want to send to your seller right from here. I don't have anything listed to be able to show you right now, but you will be able to see some of those reports. There's a whole list of them. Go in and play around with it once we have listings in there again. And then market stats. Market stats is in Paragon, but it's a product brought to us by ShowingTime, so we can get to it on our phones. There's a specific market stats class, which is wonderful. It's really great information. I have actually taken it myself, and it's the instructors that teach that class do a wonderful job. But there's all kinds of things that you can choose, new listings. There's a lot of different reports you can access, and you don't have to be on the computer. You can do them on the fly. I'm going to go back to ShowingTime. And then the last thing is contact support. Obviously, that would be ShowingTime support if something's not working the way it should. And then here, your gear is all your settings. This is important because it's not only your profile and your information for name, address, phone number, etc. It's also your listing and showing defaults. So here, if you want to speed up your entry into ShowingTime for you or your staff, you can choose some defaults. So whenever I list a property, I always want them to request online. I always want to send feedback. It defaults for me to appointment required. You can change it per listing, but these are my defaults, my speed settings, if you will. Right now, everything is exclusive showings. That was something that ShowingTime changed for Corona, and then before they shut them down. But then you can share showing agent details with your clients. You can say yes. Share agent's name and company. They don't get their contact information, but many clients want to see who's coming to their house, and that's okay. Listing notifications, obviously what notifications, how you want to receive notices that your listing is being shown. You can change all those here, as well as on the desktop program. As the showing agent, so now your showing preferences. I default to, please ask me who the buyer is so that that reminds me to put a buyer in if they're new. I default to a showing. I'm not an appraiser, but if I was, I could default to an appraisal. So it'll always set that as an appraisal. My default length is 1 hour. It's really frustrating, and many of you probably experience this. Every time you click on a showing, you got to put in a start time and then put in an end time. No. You don't have to do that if you set your defaults to a half hour, hour, whatever you want. It'll always you put in the start time, it'll put in your default. Access methods, I can access Central Lock, not Supra, but I do have HUD keys. You can put all those preferences in. Showing notifications, this is again, how do you want to be notified when you're getting a showing confirmation or a cancellation? You're just going to tell the system what your preference is, and you can tweak those things anytime. My account, here's where you would change your contact details, login, for password maybe, calendar sync. You, again, don't do this until you decide if you want to, but you can have this sync to your calendar so that any showings you schedule will automatically be put on your personal calendar. I don't do that only because I put it in as a block. I put in showings with Albert and block out the time. I don't put in the specific houses, but for somebody who wants that, they certainly can do that this way. And then your additional preferences. So these are things like messages from agents and clients. Make sure that they're on, because it's more and more common to have an agent message you through the ShowingTime app. They're at your listing and the water's leaking. They're asking you if you have any offers yet right before they're showing. Make sure that you have a method for those to come through, or you might miss something important. They may even send you a message telling you they're sending an offer. Broadcast messages from your office and your MLS. It's not used very much, but in case of an emergency or something, it might be. So I would recommend turning them on. Daily summary report, you can have that come to you by email. I just don't, because I go in and pull those reports manually. I want to actually see them. And then the notifications. Most of us don't want to be woken up at midnight if we've got an agent that's working and confirming or requesting showings. So you have that blackout period so that you only receive notifications on your phone during 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Or you can leave it open to all hours. It's truly up to you. Okay. Any questions on ShowingTime, on the app anyway?
We are looking good so far.
Okay. Would you say, and you guys can answer in the chat, but are most of you already using ShowingTime on your phone?
That would have been a good poll to launch.
Sorry, I didn't think of it till just now.
Well, this is always a work in process. We are learning how to take full advantage of all of our webinar stuff.
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes, love it, yes. Ooh, buyers. Do we have to enter them in there, or wait, do we have to enter them in? They're not auto when we make an appointment. Yeah, they have to be entered in manually.
But you enter them in only once, and then every time you make an appointment, you just select that buyer if it's for that buyer. So as far as the typing them in, you only do that one time.
Perfect. And that tracks. So you've shown, how many homes did you show me? So that's one of those things you could look in the app of, wow, I showed Debbie how many homes? Pull the trigger, Deb.
I think I finally took him out, but I did have a client in here that I had shown 95 houses back in the day. I finally took him out, but he was my record.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was interesting.
So, and I know today's class will be a little shorter because we're not stopping and showing exactly where on your phone this would be, as we do our live classes in-house. So when this is all over with, our in-house classes will resume again. So we can show you exactly right here, right there. That's what I love about our hands-on classes. So I'm sure today's class is going to be a little bit shorter than normal because we won't have as many questions, but don't forget, all of these handouts are here. So I've got the ShowingTime handout. And then one thing that I liked is the ShowingTime, it's the seller's guide. So when you're listing a home, who gets contacted first, it's some great information.
Yeah,
I think, oh, look at that right there.
So they can see it. This is appropriate to give right to your seller, and it explains the activity reports, explains feedback and all that. So they don't have to wonder.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay.
Thanks, Dawn.
You're welcome. Actually, it was really all I did was click on the link that you provided, but.
Oh, so Susan Davis says that it is so convenient. I've done it while showing one home and buyers saw another one on the same street.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
And so Jean was saying, so if we put our buyer in there, we are the only one to see them.
That is correct. No one sees your buyer's name or any other information except you as the buyer's agent. So the listing agent doesn't see any of that information at all.
Great. Tom Zaberski says it's an awesome tool, but he's going to take the class again. And you know who missed out on our class was Rick Landit. He was stuck on a management call, but we were talking about the plus features yesterday. So he's going to be watching the recording of this one as well.
And Tom, I know you said you were going to take this again, which is great, but don't forget, you in your pro, if you go to this pro agent selection, you also have Homesnap University, where you can click on the webinars. They have some really good ones, and you can watch them right from your phone. So some are recorded, some are sign up now. Oh, looks like, oh yeah, here you go. Free webinar. It looks like they took out the ones that are instant. So it looks like you have to sign up. I think they're recorded anyway, so you just go in and put in your information. But they offer some just snippets if you just wanted a particular piece of the app that you wanted help with. You can get all of that right from inside the Homesnap University. So, and those you can do anytime. If a class isn't convenient, then you can do the recorded webinars. Class gives you the option to ask more questions, but you certainly have more than one choice. Are you there, Deb?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Yeah, and Tom said, perfect, thanks.
Okay, great. All right, well, thank you all for being patient with my very first go-to webinar. It's a little different than teaching live. I do miss seeing all of your faces when you have questions, but it's what we do right now, and it's working really, really well. So thanks to MiRealSource for putting this together so quickly and getting us up and running to be able to do go-to webinar instruction.
Yeah, and this is one thing Dave DeReese, our CEO, has been asking me for a while. So I think, who was it that said it earlier? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Uh-huh. That's very true.
And
I think
so look,
find a lot more going virtual, and some things will stay even after this is over.
yeah, it is a very interesting shift in the industry. And as you and I were talking earlier, that yeah, this will be a really cool tool going forward. You know, we vendor MLSs across the state, so this definitely helps all of the MLSs that we currently vendor. And you just showings, it'll make it real easy to show any one of those homes out of our data sharing.
Yes, agreed. It will be, I think, and Homesnap, one thing I'll say about them, which is unique to them compared to some other things in our industry, they make upgrades and changes very quickly. So when there's a need or they find another cool thing they can add, they add them very, very quickly. So you're constantly getting updates, and you don't have to download anything new. It updates with your apps on your phone like every other app does.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks, Debbie.
Thank you, Dawn. You did a fantastic job on your very first webinar. It did not look or feel or sound like it. You sound like you've been doing this forever.
Well, thank you. I don't feel that way, but I appreciate the compliment.
Awesome. So Rogers, great job, Dawn. Oh, and Deb. Oh, thanks for that, Roger.
Yay.
Colleen, super great class. Awesome. We so love getting out with our members and, well, seeing you.
Sort of.
I see your names on my screen. Does that count? Awesome. But I'm so glad attendance is absolutely tripled, quadrupled since we've done webinars. We have had so we've done 6 months worth of classes in the first 10 days.
Wow.
which was amazing.
That's fabulous.
Oh, Kita couldn't tell this was her first webinar. Look at that.
Aw, thank you. That was sweet.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for attending. Don't forget, we are uploading all of our videos to our YouTube channel, and that is MiRealSource Media. They will be there for you guys to watch and rewatch. And remember, if somebody couldn't make today's webinar, like I know a couple of them that are already looking forward to the recordings, let them know that they're here, share them with your friends, and spread the love.
Great. Sounds good, Deb.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We'll see you on the next one.
Sounds good. Take care.